Hey everyone, welcome back to another sketching session, to another study with me, sketch with me session. Today we will draw some riflemen. I will put the images to study and the links below in the video description, so feel free to study along, but don't feel forced to. You can also take your own subject. I am still on the challenge that I only use ink. It's going pretty well. It is not that easy, I need to say, but it is definitely, I'm definitely progressing. And since I started with art, I was always looking for challenging myself, always trying to improve myself. And even after 7 years and being a full-time professional, I still need to challenge myself. So I'm happy that we're back with this series, that we can study again. If you have any themes you want to study, any video topics you want to have, please write it down in the comments below. Also, I saw that most of you guys are not subscribed yet, so please, if you want to support any video production and any further videos, just subscribe to the channel and maybe give it a thumbs up. That would make me really happy and also would show me that there is interest in these videos. Let's get going with drawing. So when it comes to drawing stuff like guns, and when the character or the person is holding something, always imagine the base form of it. That's the only way to really make sure that you set it properly in 3D space. Otherwise, there's the tendency that you can draw this too flat, and this can go very quick, very easy. Happens to me also. I mean, sometimes you in the zone, in the groove, don't think too much about it, and then yeah, it's just happening. We just need to learn that we become aware of this stuff, and we make sure that we know what we're doing. Also for the hand is basically nothing else than a three-dimensional mass. But still it's troublesome because every hand is different. draw folds, still think about gravitation, of course, right? Gravitation and the motion of pulling downwards. But make sure you still are able to convey volume in the form. Otherwise you can fall in the trap that the drawing looks too flat. So I'm not following the reference here 100%, which is okay, I don't mind. When I was starting with doing studies, I was getting really angry with me every time I messed up the study. And then it's kind of like, yeah, why would you do that? Like, why would you get angry with yourself about something like drawing, right? So for me it's really that I at least do my drawing properly, and then I keep in mind that this is for filling my brain with information, not expecting too much. But you will see when you draw folds a lot, when you draw clothing, faces, all that stuff, your brain is really good in saving these informations, and you are also very good in seeing patterns. And with simple stuff like these folds here, you know, asking about, okay, how can I indicate this? Oh, there's a sewing line on something like a arm. Very interesting. Is there a sewing line on other clothing? Yes, of course, because this is how these clothings are made. Again, also great example. I never drew something like a gunpowder refiller, but from observation I can see it's just a box with a tube on top. Well, that's what I draw. Does it need to be 100% correct? No, it doesn't. It's just about indicating. So now it's important that we understand that where the horizon line is in this image and where we see the person standing, and that at a certain point we cross the horizon line and that we're looking downward. So this is really important that we are able to communicate form in there. By the way, if you have fun so far and if I made you draw, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And if you want to study different topics with me, just let me know in the comments below. No important positioning between those shoes. So unfortunately I drew everything a bit too big, so we will lose him off page here, but it's still okay. Still okay. We try our best. And we still just have fun with finding time for our daily drawing. I made the front leg intentionally a little bit bigger so that we create the illusion that it's actually closer to the camera. So now let's take a second look over the full drawing here. Some things we maybe missed. Mark making we can keep in mind for our own sketches from imagination. So here improving the so that we have a clear overlap. Let me see, is there anything in the face we can do? We can add more folds, make him look older here. Also a great trick here for line weight and contact shadows, just making these lines a bit thicker. So we emulate there's some sort of contact shadow. Same here, you know, every time you have a cast shadow we can use this trick. Or do a shape like this. So it's not too bad. It's not the greatest, but it's not too bad either. So let's improve a little bit the thickness of the overlaps. This is absolutely important, so the readability improves. And we just go over this. By the way, if you want to use also these pens, these Muji pens, I really love them. I will put a link in the description below. You can get these on Amazon. They're very cheap and you can get them colored. I got bored a little bit with my ink challenge, only drawing in black and white. So I was actually looking for colored ink and these are pretty nice. Not too bad. So let's add a little bit more of the gun here. Very interesting shape. Of course, the gun needs a trigger. And there's a rope around it, which is also cool, gives them interesting story element. And every time I draw something I look for texture. How can I convey that this is a rope? And these are these small informations your brain is saving.
Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you.
Okay. Nice. So let's add a little bit of grass, give him some context where he is right now. Just indicating the ground plane.
All that I crave when you're away, nights are maybe a break.
So this was fun. What we technically still could do is we could maybe also add a tent. We could draw somebody else on the other side of this. But what I want you to take away from this or from this study, and this is a very nice thing I like to do after all the studies, is, for example, I take a red pen and I draw over. No, of course not. I'm just kidding. I will not kill the drawing. But what's important is, for example, opening the next page and then thinking about, for example, the things you just observed, right? So, for example, I observed this interesting weight of this hat. Then he had this very blocky nose. He was older, so then he has a lot of folds. And this open mouth position was kind of interesting. And older men have very big ears, because nose and ears are the only thing which still grows. Definitely this interesting collar shape. Then the hand positioning on this gun. And you see I do that fairly quick because of course I don't want to redraw the whole thing again, but I want to see what my brain kept properly. Even though I mess up this thing, but what I want to keep in mind is I want to think about, okay, what did I save properly? And sometimes it's, you realize, okay, well, I didn't save anything properly. And then also the strong triangle shape of his kilt, and then we had here the back. And then also this, and again, this is the great thing about it, the box with the cylinder inside. And never drew that before, but I know this is kind of like a rounded, boxy shape. And I don't mind if it's perfect, but I try to save this information in my brain. So even though we messed up basically the face, doesn't matter. So now we can take a look again at what we drew before. Okay, so I see there were a couple things I really saved. But of course it's not a proper representation of what I want, but it's fine. So I would basically write some notes here. So for example, I would do a little rough gesture drawing of the pose, because he was actually leaning forward. And this is also very important, is to understand where is form going in 3D space and where do we cross the horizon line. I can write down weight, contribution. So for example, it's a hat, and how are these folds happening? Because they are on a round object, which is actually the hat, and then gravitation is pulling this down. Same here for the folds, shoulder folds, and these type of things. Why is it? Because we have some sort of compression, right? There's a compression happening, okay? And these are these informations you can basically break down for yourself.
I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. If you also want to get mentored by me, make sure to check out my website, janusz-art.zone, and apply for the mentorship. Otherwise, see you in the next video. Take care. Ciao, ciao.